So we're recording. Just want to say happy afternoon to each of you. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I'll ask you to excuse me because I will probably be taking names throughout the presentation. Yes, Cindy?
Hi, Dr. Bell. I just wanted to make sure you had gotten my name. I had not heard it, so I wanted to make sure.
All right, I got you. Thank you so very
Thank you.
much. I appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's just pause for a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. I want to share my screen with you. Thank you, first of all, to the CTs who have decided to join us on this journey for the upcoming fall of 2021. We are so very thankful. We do know that we still have some challenges. We got through the challenges with COVID in the spring, so I know that we're in a better place now. And we had an excellent spring internship. So I know with where we are, this one should be as well. All of my student teaching interns, if you're here, have not been placed yet, have not been assigned a clinical teacher. I'm still waiting on some of the systems to make those assignments. I'm just thinking that we'll get them before the end of the summer. So we just have to hold on. So if you are a student teaching intern and you are here and you do not see a clinical teacher that has been assigned to you, that is because they haven't been assigned. So I need you, once they are assigned, I need you to touch bases with them to make sure that they receive the information. I'm hoping, of course, this will record and I'm gonna send it out. So you who are here today can, of course, review. And for those who are not here, they can view it for the first time. Miss 12522, I don't know who you are. Well, maybe she'll come on. So
oh, Teresa Miller.
Teresa, okay.
Teresa Miller. I don't know why it's coming up as a number.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I see your face.
Okay.
Thank you. But so long as you can hear us. All right. Can you see the screen? Okay, good. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. All right. We're going to go through the clinical teacher internship training. And I hope that this will be good for you. I'll see if I can get this to work. Sometimes it's... All right.
Mine did that and then it went back. I went back and tried again, then it opened.
Okay. So just for your information, as far as the schedule is for the University of Mount Olive, in the fall, we will have new student orientation on August the 21st. Our traditional and online classes will start August 23rd. The first day of our seated classes, of course, will be August the 24th. And of course, as you know, the student teaching interns will work on your school system's schedule. Whenever you go back, that student teaching intern will go back with you then, and that will start their term, start their time. We look at weeks, so whatever week you start, that will be their first week. And of course, we don't know what the CDC is gonna say. I put wear your mask, observe 6 feet of social distancing, and continue to wash and sanitize, simply because it's good to do. Wear your mask, it's up to you, that's your decision. Or whatever is required by the school systems. And I know that there's some issues surrounding that. So all I say to the student teaching intern is that you follow whatever that school system has established as the protocol, okay? Also, as you'll note, maybe later on in the presentation, that the student teaching intern will report to school based on the school schedule. Whenever the clinical teacher is at school for a regular day, then that's the regular day for that student intern. And you all can talk about that and see what that looks like for each of you. I would admonish each of the student teachers to make sure that they make contact with the clinicals before they're out of school for the summer, so that you'll be prepared and ready to go when school starts. For some of you who are UMO students, you will have, you should have enrolled in either EDU 493 and 499. 493 is the seminar internship and 499 is the student teaching internship. So some of our students, if you are residency or lateral entry, you are only enrolled in 499. If you are a traditional student, then you have both classes, 493, 499. I teach your 493 class, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. If you're in the 493, once that Moodle shell is up and running, you will see the first week observation assignment. So you'll just make sure that you summarize what has happened that week based on that assignment. If you are a 499 only student, then you must just journal your first week, okay? And that will be up to your supervising professor who is assigned to you from the University of Mount Olive to decide what you are to do with that. But that's, of course, is for the students. Student teaching intern responsibilities. Your responsibility as an intern is to develop lesson plans using a PPAT format. That can be found at www.ets.org. For the clinical teachers, if you go to your browser and put www.ets.org lesson plan format, you will see what it looks like. All our student interns should already be familiar with that, especially if you had EDU 303 and 304 and 485. Our students are required to use appropriate standards for developing learning outcomes and lesson plans. Our students are required to develop an innovation plan. If you have not already done that, you must have one of those completed, as well as a research paper. Now, those two items should or could already have been completed at this time. And EDU 493 would develop a classroom management plan, and this information will appear in your Moodle shell. And of course, attend teacher meetings, professional development activities, and any other activities that are suggested by your clinical teacher. You are to abide by the schedule for the assigned school system in your school. It's your responsibility to review the North Carolina Code of Ethics, and I expect you to do that because we'll probably talk about it in 493. And I asked that my EDU 493 students upload all assignments to Moodle as requested. And the 493s and 499s, for both of you, please check and read your emails daily. I will also say that the EDU 493 are allowed to audit the 493 meetings because we will meet the seminar meetings. We'll meet monthly. So even though you're not enrolled in that class, it may be beneficial for you to attend, but that is your call, okay? You do not have to, it is your call. All right. Oh, and of course, every student teaching intern has to submit the documents at the end of the year in the Moodle student teaching course. And I'll share that with you. We don't have to worry about that right now. It will come back up towards the end of your internship. Responsibilities of the clinical teacher is to make sure that he or she registers their personal and professional information with me. I will send that survey out to you once I have everybody assigned. Please don't look for it within the next couple of weeks unless I get all my assignments for my student teachers. Your responsibility is also to complete 3 formal evaluations and 1 final evaluation. The final evaluation is the LEA IHE Certification of Teaching Capacity Form. And I will share those with you, and I will also send all those documents to you as well. And of course, as you know, and most of you are probably already have served as clinical teachers or cooperating teachers, that you monitor your student teacher while he or she is teaching and assist them with the development and review of the lesson plans to ensure that they are appropriate as well as where the standards lie. And you know that, I'm just sharing it with you. Ensure proper introduction or the sequence of class load attainment based on the schedule. We'll talk about that. We ask that the students take 1 course or 1 class or 1 subject at a time and teach it for 2 weeks before you add another one. And that, of course, will be determined by you and the supervising professor as to when that student will be ready to attain that class. We request and ask that you meet with the student teaching intern weekly. I know you're going to do it daily to provide feedback, review their lesson plans and evaluate them, as I said before. At the end of the internship, there will be a survey, And upon completion of the survey that I will send to you, a stipend will be provided. It is a small stipend of $200, but I'll send you that based on the information you send with your personal survey, your address. And we will provide a certificate with 3.0 continuing education units. Questions? I'm going to send this to you, the information. I'm going to do send you a student teaching internship guideline. It will have this information on it so you can refer to it, okay? The evaluations, as I stated before, we must have an LEA, IHE, Certification of Teacher Capacity form, and we'll look at that form. That's the final. That can be completed by the supervising professor and the clinical teacher together. And then, of course, the monthly evaluations by the clinical teacher and the supervising professor. The clinical teacher and the supervising professor are all required to complete 3 formal evaluations. 1 in September, 1 in October, 1 in November, and then a final LEA IHE Certification of Teaching Capacity. And these are the evaluations will be uploaded at the end of the year, all 4 of them. Really 4, 6, it'll be 6, it'll be 7, because it'll be 3 here, I'm sorry, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, that's 6, plus the final evaluation. Questions? And for the classroom evaluation, this is a form, I'm gonna send it to you. You may use this form for classroom evaluation. I just want to show you what it looks like. I'll send it to you. You may use this form. It's the LEA IHE Certification of Teaching Capacity Observation Form to do your observations. Okay, I'm going to send it to you. This is your LEA IHE Certification of Teaching Capacity. It should be met and not met. I didn't realize that rating got cut off when I copied that. But anyway, what we ask you to do is to complete this at the very end of the student teaching intern to kind of summarize everything that has taken place with that intern as far as the proficiency descriptors are concerned. Students must have all METs. If you see a student maybe mid-semester who seems to be leaning towards a not met, I would ask that you speak with the supervising professor to make sure that something is done, maybe a plan, some type of professional development plan in order to eliminate that not met standard. They all have to be met because this form has to be uploaded to the Department of Public Instruction when they apply for their license. So you have either or opportunity as you evaluate your student teacher to use this form, which I will send to you, or this form. And of course, this form is very similar to the LEA IHE Certification of Teaching Capacity. It has just been expanded to give you an option of emerging, developing, proficient, or accomplished, okay? And here you can see standards met or standard not met, okay? And that's the same thing that this should be. They're the same, one is just extended. Any questions? We all good?
Dr. Bell, I have a question. If
Yeah.
you secure a job this fall, how does that work with the student teaching?
Well, we'll cover that. It has to be, if you are a student teacher and you secure a job, you have to come back to us and we have to approve your placement. And that would take into consideration your performance so far. We will consult your clinical teacher, of course, the supervising professor, and Dr. Bullard Maxwell and myself will come together and evaluate and look over what our findings are and make that recommendation or not.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Now, we're going to look at the next evaluation, which of course is also required at the end, depending on what your system is going to do. Are you going to be virtual? Are you going to be online? And if you're going to utilize either one of those at any point during the student teaching internship, we would appreciate it if you would complete this form as well, okay? That's only if you're going to be virtual or online. If you're seated, you're okay. And the supervising professor will remind you of this. The supervisor professor responsibilities, of course, they're not here. I didn't invite them. They usually know what they have to do. But their job is to take attendance, to visit you at least 3 times, maybe 4 times during the time that the students are there, and complete their formal evaluations. They should meet with you sometime in August when school starts. And they will probably go over some of the very same things that I'm talking about today with you, because that's just their responsibility. Okay, so let's talk about class load acquisition. We ask that you, as I said before, allow the student to take 1 class or 1 subject area and teach it for 2 weeks before you add the second one. So with that in mind, we like to give them at least 4 weeks to get into the class, to get acclimated, to review textbooks, and maybe think about some things with you that they may be teaching. So week 4, they should teach 1 class or subject. Week 6, they should teach class 1 and 2 together. Week 8, they should teach class 1, class 2, and add class 3. And I said week 10 because I know I know high school students should be at full load capacity here. And then some elementary may have to still add another class. So it just depends. Work it out for whatever is good for you. And you will work in conjunction and collaboration with your supervisor professor, so that'll work out. And as I said, that all classes and subjects should be taught for 2 weeks before adding another one. And the class load acquisition will be determined by the clinical teacher and the supervising professor. Any questions about that? Now, I say week 4 here, but if your student teacher is ready to go, week 2, hey, I'm okay with it, as long as the supervising professor is all right with it. And you all have agreed that you see the potential there. So that's okay with me. That's just up to you. And I also want to say that each student must have, I thought I don't see it. Wow, I left that off. Anyway, your student teaching intern must have 4 full weeks of full load. Let's just say, for example, high school students will have 3 classes. They must teach those 3 classes for 4 full weeks. And if your elementary student teaching intern has to have 4 or 5 classes or subjects to teach, they must teach those 4 or 5 subjects for 4 weeks consecutively. And that's a full teaching load for 4 full weeks in order to be approved by the state. So whatever the full teaching load is, it has to be 4 full weeks. Okay? Questions? Okay. Our student teaching interns, and they know, are required to take what we call the Praxis Performance Assessment for Teachers. It is known as the PPAT. Must complete it during student teaching internship. It can't be done before. Of course, it can be done afterwards once they get into the classroom if they did not pass. We had some pretty good scores this past semester. The cost of that PPAT is $300. And for all of you student interns who are here, you may go to www.ets.org in order to register. The state does require a passing score, and when you submit your licensure documents or application, you have to submit this information as well. And that passing score is a 38. There are 4 tasks. Task 1 is knowledge of students in the learning environment. Task 2 is assessment and data collection to measure and inform student learning. Task 3 is designing instruction for student learning. And task 4 is implementing and analyzing instruction to promote student learning. Now, I think most of them should have had access or a brief understanding of each one of those tasks. I have the opportunity of teaching task 1 in my EDU 487, and 485 houses task 2 and 3, and then a content area should house task 4. This should not be new to anybody, especially if they had in 487. These are the PPAT. This is the PPAT task schedule. Registration opens July the 19th, students. So make sure you have your money ready. Go ahead and get registered for the class. Registration will close September. To reschedule, anything that has to be done by the 15th. And to cancel is the 15th of September. So the task will open September the 1st. Okay. Your task 1 deadline is due September the 22nd. It has to be submitted. Task 1 is not graded by ETS. Task 2, 3, and 4 are graded by ETS, and tasks 2, 3, and 4 have deep dives on the www.ets.org website. Task 1 will be scored and graded by your supervising professor. Task 2 and Task 3 are both due October the 13th. And Task 4, which includes a video of your teaching, is due November the 10th. And what we ask now, we recommend that once you get Task 1 done, that you start videotaping, and just videotape and videotape as much as you possibly can. So if something happens, because in the spring of 2020, a lot of our students missed Task 4 because the school shut down. So we just now ask that if you go ahead and start videotaping, read what Task 4 requires, and then start working on those videos. And of course, the other information is resubmission and task deadlines. So you can find this schedule at ets.org. So just to remind you that the documents that are due at the end of the internship, of course, is and are your research paper, your innovation plan, your test and results documents. If you have your professional test taken or your licensure test taken and you have scores, they must be submitted, as well as your PPAT scores. You will upload your LEA IHE certification of teaching capacity form, your 3 clinical teacher evaluations, and your 3 supervising professor evaluations. We will review this at the end. It's not that important right now, but I just want you to focus to make sure you can find that research paper. And if you have not completed your innovation plan, you need to start talking with your supervising professor at this time. Any questions, any comments, any concerns? For the student teaching interns, if you're planning to graduate in December, the last day to file for that is November the 1st. So as long as you know, I will try to send that in that document that I'm going to send out. Student teaching interns, if you're in the EDU 493 and 499, students can audit this class. We will meet once a month towards the end of the month. We try to meet around 4:30 to give you a chance to get out of school, or sometimes you can just sit at school and do the class, but I will provide that. Clinical teacher Zoom is probably the next day over. I usually meet that class, my 493, on Tuesday, and then I'll meet my clinical teachers on Wednesday in the afternoons, hopefully after they get out of school, 4:30, but we'll work that out. And then I'll send emails to clinicals to you on a regular basis to kind of keep you abreast and to keep you informed, to kind of remind you of some things. Internship information for our students, always check your email, always check Moodle, especially if you're in 493, and you should have a 499 shell. You are allowed to substitute within your internship classroom. If the principal needs you to substitute somewhere else, that's fine, but we don't want you to sub. If it's a day or two, hit it and quit, that's okay. But we still want you to complete your internship in your course, your classroom that you have been assigned. So it's allowed if the school system needs you, okay? But I don't want you to 10 or 15 days. I think that's a little much. You can be released if you have a job opportunity with approval from UMO, and I've explained that process already. And depending on what it's like, we will have a virtual career service career fair or in person, but that's down the road. We have to see how things are going to work out for us in the fall. Any questions, any comments, any concerns? Okay, and the licensure process, of course, we're way ahead. We'll take care of that at the end. I just finished the one for the spring, just ahead of your class, so just ahead of your Zoom. So I will come back with that in the end. All evaluation forms will be mailed. All the information I've shared with you today, I will mail you all the evaluation forms and a student teaching internship sort of guide that covers everything that I've talked about today. This is my number. This is my email address. Most of you already have it because I sent you this Zoom link. So you should have that. I am not in the office in the summer. I work from home a lot. So if you need me, email is probably going to be the best way to reach me until I come back. So does anybody have any questions? Y'all don't have any questions? I'm glad. Let me see if I have everybody.
Dr.
Margaret,
Bell,
Christina,
let me ask this
yes.
question. The research paper, is that our senior research project that we already did?
Yes, it
Is that
is.
what you're referring to?
And I
Okay, and
want you, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And the innovation project, I remember doing that, but I can't remember what class it was in, but I think I still have it, yeah.
You should, okay, good, cool.
Okay.
Yes, just make sure that if you did not receive an A on that research paper, that you pull it out and give it to your supervising professor and let them evaluate it to make sure that, and you make the changes. You have to make those changes because it does have to be an A paper.
I
And you
did
can
it,
do
I'm mad.
that.
All right.
You can, it shouldn't.
I already did that, okay.
If you received a B, hey, it shouldn't be many changes. If you did a C, yeah, a few more changes, but you need to correct those before you upload them because you will have to upload those in the event that the state asks us for those. Okay. Any other questions? I promise you, as soon as this finishes zooming, downloading, and copying, I will send it to you as soon as possible. It was brief today, but I think we covered everything that I needed to cover. And as I said before, I will send you a document that will, excuse me a second. Hello, yes. Thank you for allowing me to take that call. It was important. I appreciate it. Did I have a question that I omitted? I apologize. Y'all good? Everybody? Thank y'all so much for agreeing to take our student teaching interns. Miss Christina, you have somebody with you. Is that somebody that I need to put a name down, or is she just with you today? Miss Strickland? Okay, well, you can send me an email. Does anybody else have any questions? Any comments? Any concerns?
I have a comment. I sent the teacher an email introducing myself and she never responded back.
Who is your teacher?
Oh gosh, I can't check my email right now.
Okay, Miss Miller?
I don't know how to get out of here to, but
That's okay, I'll get you. I don't have my things here right now, but I'll find out. No response?
yeah, I guess I sent her one like 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
I guess I can just send her another email and wait for her to
What's your
respond.
county, Miss Miller?
Green.
Greene County. You haven't heard from the teacher?
No, I've been checking my email.
Miss Miller, right? Where you tell me where you've been assigned?
I was assigned to Snow Hill Primary.
Okay, Miss Lavania's here.
Yeah, that's who I
Yeah.
emailed.
where is she? Miss Lavania, would y'all get together, please? With your clinical? With your student teacher?
I'll go back and check my emails. I receive a lot of emails.
I know how that is.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing? So
I see her in the library all the time.
yes, it may be that I
Okay.
overlooked it. So I'll go back and see if I can find it. And then if it's from someone I really don't know, a lot of times, you know, I may not open up the email because I'm
Right,
not sure.
right. Okay,
I apologize for that.
that's okay.
Okay. I get so many, sometimes I want to cry. But I try not to. Any other questions? That's good to see everybody. Any other questions? Okay. All righty then. I'll let this video download and I'll get it to you as soon as I possibly can, or I get it out to everybody, and I'll get that other information to you. But as I said, give me some time so I can see if I can get the other assignments before I send it out, so I don't have to send it out twice. This is the end of May. Hopefully I'll get everybody by mid-June, if that's not too late. If anybody needs it before then, you can send me an email and I'll be more than happy to. But I'll be honest with you, I have approximately 21 student teaching interns, and I think I have about half assigned. The school systems are just kind of slow. They have so much going on, and they just haven't responded yet. They're working on it. Okay. And I was trying to hold off providing the names for the supervising professors until I received my clinicals, but I haven't done that yet. So just give me a couple of weeks, please, and I can get that information to you, I promise. All right, everybody stay safe. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right.
Stay safe.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
you.
Good night. Okay, bye-bye.
I don't know how to come out. I wait and see.
Oh,
Wow.
remember to wash your hands and say your prayers, because Jesus and germs are everywhere. Right?
Jesus is there.
That's right. Okay. Bye, everybody.
That's right.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.